Hey everyone, this is Carbonite bringing you another standard match. This time on the left we have Joshua playing Youthberk yet again, and on the right we have Alexis playing Nirvana Jheva once again. So it looks like Youth is just going to be going first. Pretty good for Youth, honestly, going first and being able to ride up into that grade 3 and being able to swing at your opponent while they're still at grade 2 is really good for the Youth deck, for sure. So just riding into that grade 2, looks like we are actually going to be getting a maple off the grade 1 skill. Pretty nice. Going to be putting in the back row, choosing not to swing with it this turn. Going to be swinging the Vanguard, boosted by that Witch, getting a heal trigger. So now normally calling out that Witch would be kind of a little bit problematic because, as we have seen before, Nirvana Jheva does actually have a bit of retire. So it is possible that that Witch could get totally sniped out from under you. However, it is important to note that the retire that Jheva has is mostly locked to grade 3. The only way that they would actually be able to like retire it is if they use that one grade 2 Prayer Dragon and then overdress it onto a grade 2. Which we're clearly not going to be seeing here. We're just going to be seeing that Trickstar, swinging at the Vanguard, hitting a Witch into damage. So that's one less Witch you have to worry about, assuming you live that long. But anyways, moving back to Youthberk, we are going to be going into that all-important grade 3 turn. We do only have one CB, so things might be a little bit dicey. We do see the Therapy Angel getting discarded for the ride deck, Soul Blasting calling it out, and we do see the Youthberk skill calling out a Schneisel by discarding another Therapy Angel, which is once again going to come out, and that is going to be a full board, amassed for basically nothing. Of course, we can't use the Schneisel skill, so we're just going to have to rely on what we have in our hand at this moment. And because we do only have that one CB, we actually aren't going to be able to use the Tempest this turn. So if we do want to Revolt Dress, we aren't really going to be getting very much out of it. We're just going to be probably putting that Witch into the Soul and getting an extra drive check, as we're going to see here. We're just going to be Tempesting and not actually going to be able to use the skill. So we won't be able to do the mad plussing that Youthberk usually does on its first grade 3 turn. But, you know. So looks like we are going to be swinging the 25, which is actually going to be a 30k guard, because even though you do not get the extra cards from the extra counterblast, you do get the extra 5k, which especially another good reason why Youthberk is really great going first is because you do hit those really nice magic numbers, the 25s that need a 20k shield, and just you can honestly just push so much damage going first with that first grade 3 turn. Of course, it wasn't as explosive as it could have been. We didn't plus as much because we didn't have the extra CB, but yeah, we're still a very good deck. Anyways, looks like we are going to be calling that Prayer Dragon. I think I've given up on trying to remember their names. Crossover dressing into the Vils, adding back the Baru. Actually going to be swinging at that Schneisel. I mean, it is going to be a better number because it is a 15k swing. Looks like we are going to be using that Jheva skill, restanding the Vils, I believe. Okay, actually, I'm going to be swinging the Vanguard at Maple, which is interesting, I will say. Honestly, at this position, you could probably just pass, but looks like we are going to be swinging the Vanguard, and we are going to be taking it. I feel if you were going to probably take out the rear guards, you probably should have just not used the Nirvana Jheva skill. Save up on the CB, because you are a deck with no counter charge, so maybe saving that CB for later is probably better of a play. Anyways, you are going to give this Tempest that 1 CB. So granted, it does make things a little bit awkward because that means they have to choose which skill they want. So you are slowly tempoing them out of the game. But at the same time, you're really not pushing very much damage, because we are just going to be swinging a 23 at the Vanguard, just going to be taking it, going to 4, and then Revolt dressing into that Tempest, and then using the skill, revealing 2 triggers, which is very typical for Tempest. Obviously bot decking nothing because we cannot target that Trickstar for a skill, even though we do have that grade 0. Just going to be swinging that Tempest for a nice 28, I believe. I believe we did Persona Ride, if I'm correct. But anyways, Looks like that's just going to be PG'd. Discarding a Trickstar. Drive check is just going to be another Nucleate. Going to be swinging that Therapy Angel for a... Okay, I guess we didn't Persona Ride because that was just a 5k guard. My mistake. Sorry. Anyways, going to be going back to Nirvana. Starting off with a Persona Ride. For real this time. Going to be calling out... That is the card that lets you retire. So, I'm going to be going into... Probably that Baru that we searched out earlier. Oh, looks like we are calling a Bramada, but looks like we are actually just going to be going into that Bramald. Baru, whatever. Counterblast 1, soul charging PG, which is a little unfortunate. But you know, whatever. Gonna be crossover dressing into a Veals Verena, which is definitely interesting. Because committing so many cards to board, technically Youthberk does have removal with the Tempest, but it is kind of like luck reliant. Gonna be popping the last 2 rear guards so that this Baru Verena can actually use its skill to use its counterblast 1 to drive check an extra card. Gonna be swinging for a nice 33 with that Persona Ride and the extra 2,000 for every open rear guard circle. Looks like it is. We're not gonna be using the skill for the first time around. It's just gonna be guard for 43. Swinging the Nirvana Jheva, counterblasting 1. And restanding the Baru. Gonna be swinging at the Vanguard, hitting a defensive, which really hurts. I mean, this Vils is still gonna be hitting, but that is gonna be a 5k guard. It's probably just gonna be hit with a 15k just because we want to conserve some of those other pieces in order to rebuild our board next turn. Gonna be swinging the Baru, not guarding that. It is gonna get a drive check, but of course there's nothing gonna be going on in that drive check. So this time, Youthberk is going to be starting off with a Persona Ride. Make sure I catch that this time. Calling back that Maple. And discarding yet another Therapy Angel, which is the 4th Therapy Angel for those that you have been following along. Calling out an Enucleate using with that Youthberk skill. So basically just calling out that Enucleate kind of ensures that you can basically play around with that whatever you want. Things like this, using this Schneisel to dig deeper into the deck. Basically, probably just deck thinning at this point, making it that much easier to hit triggers. But thanks to the Nucleate that we do have in the back row, we can easily commit that without having to worry about Counterblast. Which is why I really think Enucleate's very good in Youthberk. I've definitely fought a lot of Youthberks in my time. And I noticed not all of them run Enucleate, which I honestly think is kind of a mistake because... Either if you don't kill, if you're playing against a deck that can actually live through your Youthberk turns, like 2 of them, you're kind of in trouble because you blast through your counterblast. If you're using Schneisels every turn, if you're using Tempest every turn, you can easily just run out of CB and have nothing left. Which is what those Enucleates pretty much just effectively let you do. Like we're going to see here, using the Tempest skill, revealing a grade 3, which means that entire crossover dress stack is going to be going to the bottom of the deck. And then just using that Enucleate, because you have so much soul in Youthberk that it doesn't even really matter. Getting that, not only that counter charge, but an extra 5k to the Vanguard. Just making it hit those even better numbers. Because as we see here, it is getting 10k from the Persona Ride, another 5k from the Enucleate, and another 5k from Tempest skill. There we go, that's all of them. So it is swinging for 33 right now, and if we do end up swinging with that Schneisel first, it's gonna be a 38, which is a very nice magic number. Now granted, it doesn't have a drive because we didn't call out the Witch, but at the same time, I mean, that is still 2 triggers to guard, which is not too bad. This Schneisel is going to be swinging for a clean 45, and it looks like we decided that we cannot guard all of those attacks, so we are just going to be taking it, banking on heal, but it is not going to be there. Anyways, that's going to be the video. I hope you guys enjoyed, and I will see you guys in the next one.